My bad, I'm muted. My bad, I'm muted. Alright. You guys ready? I think it's only like 8-9 chapters? No, not my bad. Unmuted. Oh man. You know, so one thing I kind of find funny. I was like, I had the. Let me show you guys this before we start reading. Don't worry, we're only gonna stall for like 30 seconds. I had the fan art earlier above it, like above the Shadow Slave thing. Wow, why am I pointing that way? I had the fan art like right here over Sunny's face, but then I realized it's mostly Lord of the Mysteries fan art. So I feel like it doesn't really fit. Like all the fan art we've gotten throughout the day is like it's almost like Victorian, or like it all kind of matches the LOTM theme. It's like, you know what, I don't think I should be showing the fan art, at least for now. So let me put chat on screen and let's start reading, man. Oh man, my nose is still a little bit stuffy. I'm live, right? Oh, okay, no, the red icon is because I'm not recording yet. All right, let me get chat ready. Let me put chat on screen and then we'll start reading, okay? Not stalling. Zero stalling today. All right. Oh, 15 you guys joined super quick too. All right, hold up. Let me get this ready. Also, I'm planning for anybody that was watching Wiz's stream earlier today. I'm planning to put the entire read through as one video for volume 1. That we're gonna see how it turns out. I want to see if I can try and do like every volume, like all in its entirety, like a 50+ hour video, like all in itself. I want to see how that's gonna turn out. All right. So let's just jump straight into it, brothers and sisters. Sorry for the audio spiking. Today, we will be finishing volume 1. I was about to say Lord of the Mysteries. Whew. Today we'll be finishing volume 1 of Shadow Slave. Question. Do volumes have like volume names? Like I know arc 1 is the Forgotten Shores. But like Holy Peak incoming, I'm ready, man. Something's gonna bust. But like, for example, Lord of the Mysteries Volume 1 is called Clown, right? Does Volume 1 Shadow Slave have like a name, or is it just, yeah, they have volume names? Yeah? Oh. Alright, so I'm not gonna know the name. Yep, they do. So I'm not gonna know the name until we read chapter 95. Okay, awesome. That's badass as fuck, brothers and sisters. Alright, let's just get right into it. Like, comment, sub, turn on the bell icons, all that jazz helps. Fuck, man, these intros are so, I'm so bad at this. All that helps the YouTube algorithm. That being said, let's just get right into reading. Right? Sorry, I'm practicing my Arthur, I'm practicing my Rick Grimes impression from Art Raiders. Oh shit, man. I think it looks better if I read from this one, right? Yeah, it looks better on that. All right, are we on 87, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 9 chapters. Yeah, we're on 87. Right? 87? Let me check my phone. Last thing I read. Did I read 86 or 87? I read until 86. Oh yeah, I wasn't feeling that good. We just knocked out like 4 chapters. Okay, so we are on 87. Awesome. Copy paste 87. All right, let's get right into it. You guys ready? I'm fucking pumped. All right, I did. I'll be honest. I read one name. Just know, guys. I read one name that you guys mentioned in the comments on the last video or two. In passing. I'm still sick. I'm not that sick anymore. No, my fever went away, but my nose is still a little runny. So I do have tea right here with me. I do have some tea right here. Spoiler. No, it's I don't think I should say the name. It's all right. Yeah, I read a name. It's like blank's name gets revealed already, or blank has been name dropped or something like that. I was like, all right. I thought I was, for a second, I thought I was reading. Look, I'll tell you why I read it. Hey, I'll just tell you, it's Adam. I read Adam. It's all right. It's all right. The reason I read the name Adam so quickly, I thought I was reading a Lord of the Mysteries comment. And it's like, what the fuck is Adam on a Shadow Slave video? This isn't, wait, is there a person named Adam? We need more mods for Shadow Slave? No, it's okay. It's all right. Look, it's okay. That's the only spoiler I know. There's someone called Adam. And you know what? The only Adam I know is Lord of the Mysteries, so we're good. Why is it that when I talk like that, there's like a fucking Southern accent? No, it's an inside joke. All right, because all I know is when I read it, I didn't read a name called Adam. All right, yeah. So that's technically the only name I may or may not know. Adam. I think somebody mentioned the name Adam. I don't know if that was a joke or what. Yeah, I was surprised Easy doesn't have. Yeah, we need. Well. I think Sunny mentioned Sunny's cut up, so he might be our Shadow Slave mod. So we'll see how it goes. But I feel like when spoilers get too crazy, we'll do one. But so far, I've only read one name, and I think we're good. That being said, chapter 87 of our 87 through 95 read through today. Chapter 87 is called Plan of Escape. Nephis was still at the western edge of the island, gazing over the recording black waters. It seemed as though she barely moved since the last time Sunny saw her. Hold up, let me switch scenes. Should I save this song? I feel like I should save this song. Looking at her with clear eyes, free from the most deliberating effects of being enthralled, he was able to notice things that he had not noticed before. Nephis' hair was indeed longer, because it's been a month. Back at the academy, it was short and usually parted to the sides. Now, silver strands were already long enough to cover her ears, hanging messily without their usual luster. Changed Star's face seemed much thinner, with dark circles under her eyes and a bleak, dull expression. Her usual confidence and energy were gone, replaced by exhausted stillness. She looked as though some unknown illness was consuming her from the inside. Is she also turning? Slowly turning to one radiant girl in a pale shadow of her former self. Sunny suspected that he knew what that illness was. He had known for a long time that Nephis had a mysterious goal, and that her determination to achieve that goal was nothing short of frightening. That burning desire of hers, it seems, was strong enough to resist even the enthrallment of the soul devourer. However, while the feeling remained, the actual memories were gone. Thus, Nephis had been left longing desperately for something that she did not know, would now understand the nature of her emotions or satiate them. This inner conflict was the reason for her terrible state. Coming closer, Sunny sat down and looked at Neph, wishing to see her striking gray eyes shine once again with unbreakable resolve. Huh, Neph? She turned her head to him, not saying anything. Sunny gritted his teeth, feeling dark anger blossoming in his heart. That loathsome tree, I have something to tell you. Trying to stay calm and not miss anything, he told Nephis everything that he had found out. He told her about his trip to the upper parts of the soul tree, the giant nest he had discovered, the vile thieving bird spawn and how he had killed it, the strange memory which had no rank and type, the new attribute he had received, and the hidden one that he had accidentally discovered. Finally, Sunny told her about the nature of the tribute, the true— oh, I scrolled down too much. Hold up, I scrolled down way too much. Fuck. Fuck. Found my place. Let me read from right here. I think I found my place. Finally, Sunny told her about the nature of the tribute, the true nature of the soul devourer, how long they had been on that island, and what they had forgotten. When he finished, changing Star's expression didn't change one bit. Looking away, she simply said, I see. Sunny blinked. I see. That's all you have to say. She glanced at him and smiled darkly. What do you want me to say? He gaped at her and clenched her fists. Wow, how horrible. Good job, Sunny. Say something at least. It is hard to behave like a human. She turned away, not answering. Sunny stared at her for several seconds and then said in a tired, defeated voice, I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do, Nev. How do I get us out of this? How will we get out? She was silent for a while. Sunny almost assumed that Changing Star had already forgotten everything that he had told her, but then he noticed the sparks of white radiance dancing in the depths of her eyes. Nephis had her aspect. Nephis had activated her aspect ability, using pain to stay lucid for as long as possible. Finally, she looked at retreating dark sea and said, we need to build a boat. Sunny blinked. What? Changing Star sighed and turned her face to look at him. We've been here on this island for many weeks. Our minds are slowly beginning to be erased by the soul tree, turning us into its slaves. One would say a shadow slave. See what we did there? Forever. However, the process is not complete. He nodded, listening. What thought did the soul tree put in our heads? That is the benevolent and the great, that is fruits and desirable, and that we shouldn't leave the island, staying as close as possible to it. The first two commands make perfect sense. The third, however, is not simple. Nephis gestured at the vast expanse of the black water. From the third command, we can deduce that the effect of the soul tree's enthrallment weakens within range, and that if we put enough distance between ourselves and the tree, it will be broken. That seems fair. Sunny's face brightened when he understood Neph's logic, so there was a way. They just had to leave the Ashen Barrow and flee, not looking back until the Soul Devourer's brand was gone from their souls, however. But why not just run away on foot? Changing Star lowered her head and said quietly, yeah, why? We'll never make it to the castle on foot. We'll just die. I was too arrogant before to think, well, it doesn't matter now. It will take many months to go around the crater through the labyrinth, especially now that we don't have the echo. And every day we spend there is another day we risk encountering something that will kill us without even breaking sweat. Sorry, there might be a little lag right now. She sighed. We were already lucky to survive for as long as we did, but in the end, no matter how much we fought and preserved, we still encountered the soul tree. This shouldn't have been our end. Do you know how important it is that we even got a chance to have this conversation? Sunny, whoa, hold on, music is way too hype. I feel like I should save that part, right? I feel like I should save the peak of that song. Yo, the cardigan, the true Unk says, yo, bro, hey, the don't mind the running your nose, Wiz. The cardigan only comes out on cold days. But hell yeah, man, I fucking love a good cardigan. I'll be honest, I've reached that age, man, where I put on a good cardigan, a good turtleneck, and I'm like, damn, that's nice. Oh man. She sighed. We were already lucky to survive for as long as we did it, but in the end, no matter how much we fought or preserved, we still encountered the soul tree. This shouldn't have been our end. Do you know how important it is to even get a chance to have this conversation? Sunny hesitantly shook his head. First, we have to have an oracle in our group see the feature. Then Cassie had to formulate and execute an ingenious plan in a short amount of time, with her memory remained intact. That plan was based on the fact that there was someone with an awakened armor of the 5th tier in our group, one enchanted with an extreme rare mind protection trait, no less. Awakened with a revelation affinity were few and far between. Sleepers with a memory equal to the puppeteer's shroud was even rarer. That person then had to find and kill a great devil. More incredibly, he had to receive an actual lineage memory from it. Yeah, there's way too many coincidences. Do I need to explain how implausible this combination of events is? Sunny slowly shook his head. Nephis closed her eyes. My point is, if we go into the labyrinth, we will inevitably meet the next soul tree, and even if we miraculously manage to survive that encounter, there will be the next, and the next. Sooner or later, we will die. Damn! That's fucked up. You love cardigans? Hell yeah, bro. That's some good shit. She looked west, where the last remnants of the dark sea were disappearing beyond the horizon. But if we build a boat and use Cassie's staff to fill the cell with wind, maybe they can go quicker. Maybe we'll be eaten by the dwellers of the deaf, or maybe they won't pay us any attention at all. It's a gamble either way. Either we die, which is the same as returning to the labyrinth, or not. If we survive, we'll be able to travel 100 and maybe even 200 kilometers in one night. More distance than we had covered so far. Senior Fro, stunned by the number, and all the weeks preceding their battle with the Carapace Demon, they had traveled for no more than 100, maybe 100. Bro, I don't know my kilometers. Maybe 150 kilometers. From the giant knight's statue. It was a considerable amount, especially because of how hard each step through the Crimson Labyrinth had been. To travel as much, perhaps even more in a single day, that would have been incredible. But sail on the dark sea, suddenly he felt a very cold and small. Bro, where's chat? Oh my god, I don't have chat on screen. Oh yeah, I only put chat on screen. I literally forgot. I did forget. Speaking of everybody's memories in this arc, and this fucking stupid runny nose, I forgot. Sorry, the reason I had chat off before was when I recorded the videos off stream, I had that off and I didn't see it. No, you're good. We've only read one chapter. Just right here. All right, chat's on the screen now. I'll put a random song for now. I'll put this one. All right, let me sip my tea. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, if anybody makes any Shadow Slave fucking artwork, set it my way, bro. We gotta add it right away. We gotta add it right away to the bash, man. Around 93 miles? Okay, so I just to be correct, about 1 mile for every 2 kilometers, roughly. I know there's like a point, right? But I guess. Did you meet the Amon avatar in Shadow Slave? I don't think I've met an Amon avatar. Yeah, we're one chapter in. So here, let's get the next chapter ready. Let me see. But I did read I did see chat talk about someone called Adam. And to be fair, that does sound kind of coincidental that we're like by this tree, right? You know, okay, I see the similarities. I see what we're doing here. Also, I have a fucking shit, man. My nose stops me from fucking speaking or reading. It's miserable, dude. Also, I have a Guilty 3 interview on my watch list. Yeah. Oh, 1 kilometer is around 0.6 mile. Oh, never mind. What's happening to story right now? Don't start. Be quiet. That's okay. All right, well, we're gonna escape the tree. Let's find out how we get out. All right, next chapter, chapter 88, is called Boat's Builder. All right, trying to gather his courage, Sunny looked in the distance and said in a raspy voice, speaking of raspy voices, holy shit, man, it's almost been a week. In a raspy voice, you've seen the creatures that dwell under these waves. Do you really want to swim across them? Change the start was silent for a few seconds, then said, we were damned either way. Sunny, what do we have to lose? That is so true. She fell silent for a moment, Grimm's pale flames dancing in her eyes. Then, in a quiet voice, she added, we will not light any fires, relying on our eyes to... What the fuck? Relying on our eyes to guide us west. We will hope that Cassie's armor will protect us. Maybe it will be enough. Sunny glanced at Neff and asked, what's so special about Cassie's armor? She hesitated for a moment, then answered without looking at him. I'm a tier 6. It's a tier 6 awakened memory. Okay. One of his traits is to make the wearer less likely to draw the enemy's attention. While Sunny was digesting this information, Nephis suddenly trembled. Closing her eyes, she said through gritted teeth, I am at my limit. My mind is fading. If you have any questions left, better ask them fast. He blinked, startled, then knowing that there was not much time left, Sunny asked the first thing that came to his mind. Do you even know how to build a boat? Star simply nodded, letting him know what she did. Her expression was slowly turning lost and dull again. Racing against time, Sunny frankly thought of another question. How do I convince you to leave this island once your memory's gone? Nephis looked at him, struggling to hold. Oh, they're gonna fucking fight. That's how we do it. You don't reason with her. You just fight her. How do I convince you to leave the island once your memory is gone? Nephis looked at him, struggling to hold on to the last shreds of lucidity. For a moment, her eyes became clear again when flames ignited the depths, illuminating her pale, beautiful face. Aster Song Vale, say those words to me and I will listen. Starting to lose the grip of her thoughts, she turned away and added in a short pause, her voice already uneven. If anything happens, take Cassie and flee. Don't. Oh, when she goes. Don't look at chat. Oh, was there a spoiler? Okay, I won't look at chat. Wait, chill, guys. Chill. If there's any spoilers, chill. It's a new series. Wait. Whatever she's telling us, wait, chill. It's a new series. Chill with the spoilers. Because I remember we were spoiling a lot when we started reading LOTM, but luckily I never got spoiled, so we have to be there at that same beginning where we don't get spoiled. Aster Songvale, I assume that's what you're talking about. If anything happens, take Cassie and flee. Don't. Then the light in her eyes slowly dimmed and soon changed. Sarah was staring west once again, all memory of their conversation gone from her mind. Sunny sat by her side for some time waiting. After a while, he shifted a little and said, Hey, Neff. She turned to him, her face bleak and full of confusion. Sunny, oh, when did we get here? A while ago. Then he smiled and said in a carefree tone, Hey, can I ask you something? Do you know how to build a boat? She was like, fuck. Nephis was very surprised by his question, but eventually agreed to help him. Sunny didn't tell her why exactly, but he wanted to build a boat. Dodging the questions with practiced finesse, his flaw was not in making things easy, but the state Nephis was in, persuading her was not very hard. Manipulating her felt a little strange, but explaining everything once again would have taken too much time, not to mention that he wasn't sure that it would work again, and there was not much time left. With every hour, their condition worsened. Even Sunny was having trouble keeping his lucidity intact. Every time he felt that his mind was beginning to slip, he had to inflict pain on himself to get a new moment of reprieve. Even so, his thoughts were slow and fragile. Keeping them together was taking a heavy toll on him. I have to pause the recording. If I'm sniffling, it's because I'm pausing my recording. When is COI? We're gonna do COI in January. Yeah. We'll do it in January. You want to be a mod, Sunny? I got you, Sunny. You've been promoted, brother. You've been promoted, my friend. You ready? Now remember. Sunny, now remember. Hold on, let me finish my notes. Oh, show's about to put you on timeout. Hold up. Now remember, Sunny. With great power comes great responsibility, okay? Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Now ban everyone that fucking says the slightest spoiler. No, fucking kidding. Ban them all! I'm fucking kidding. I'm fucking ban them all, Sonny. I'm fucking joking. No. Oh shit, that's so funny. Sonny, if you ever need backup for our Shadow Slave read-throughs, let me know. Ban them all. It's 1984 all over again. Suppress everything. Suppress it all. Censor everything, damn it. Let nothing out. Let me find my place. Fucking shit this nose. I was hoping to finish reading it like an hour and a half. I need to start. Don't worry, I'm not recording, so at least the recordings aren't going to be janky. Us hanging out, this is the janky part. Holy shit, man. Fuck this stupid nose. Alright, let me find my place. Okay, there. Even Sonny was having trouble keeping his lucidity intact. Every time he felt that his mind was beginning to slip, he had to inflict pain on himself to get a few moments of reprieve. Even so, his thoughts were slow and fragile. Keeping them together was taking a heavy toll on him. They had to flee the island as soon as possible. Sonny was determined to be ready for the time the Dark Sea returned. Turning away from Nephis to not let her see the pained expression on his face, Sonny bit on his hat once again. Feeling the bitter taste of blood on his tongue, whoa. Does that mean he liked the taste? No. Feeling the bitter taste of blood on his tongue, he let the wave of pain clear his mind and blinked, amused at the irony of the situation. He was nodding at himself to prevent himself from being eaten. What a funny contradiction. And it's funny that I'm reading like this, man. Whew! Hiding his bleeding hand behind his back, Sonny turned to Neff and asked, "So how are we going to make the boat?" She thought about it for some time, then said indifferently, "We will have to use the materials at hand. For the whole, we will have to use the dead demon's carapace." Oh, you're going to use the body parts? We can strip several armor plates of suitable shape and tie them together with a golden rope. Sonny raised his eyebrows. Then the carapace demon's armor, made out of some strange metal, can still even float. Nephis glanced at him with reproach. Anything can float, Sonny. You just have to make sure that you're displacing more water when the weight of the floating object. That's how boats work. He blinked. Okay, about to sail. I think we can ask Cassie to lend her her cloak. What do you think? Changey Star gave him a strange look. I mean, yes, I still understand what's going on, so got you so excited about boat building, but I'm sure she'll be willing to help you out with this passion project. Sonny smiled. Great, let's go butcher the demon then. A strange sentence to say with a smile, but not the strangest one he had to say to convince Neff to help him. A few minutes later, they reached the giant carapace of the carapace demon. It was towering a carcass of the carapace demon. It was towering above them like a small hill of polished metal. After the first day, when it's like fucking Ark Knights, not Ark Knights, it's like fucking Ark Raiders over here, man. They're about to go loot this bitch. Only the metal of its carapace slowly deteriorated, losing its luster and shine, then turning less and less durable. By now, its surface was marred by a large patch of rust. Nephis climbed up on top of the carapace and walked from side to side, looking under her feet. Then she gestured at several spots. These curved plates will be perfect if we can fit them together tight enough. Each one is long enough to form an entirety of the whole, leaving enough space for the three of us to sit side by side. Sonny had no knowledge of shipbuilding, so he decided to trust her judgment. Looking up from the ground, he asked, "What about the mast?" Changing Star scrawled, "That I will have to think about." Sonny smiled. "All right, while you're thinking, I'll go fetch Cassie to keep you company." 12-hour Shadow Slave binge stream when? Man, soon. We were able to knock out like 8 hours, 9 hours, I think, at one point for Lord of the Mysteries. I think we're going to be doing that for Shadow Slave. I'm not sure when, but we should be able to do it soon. Yeah, we should be able to do it soon. 14 minutes. Next chapter. Next chapter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, right? I think we did a 9-hour stream for Lord of the Mysteries, man. Especially when we came to the finale, we did like 8 hours, and then we woke up, and then fucking another 6. And then I forgot what you guys said. I think Wiz or somebody else was streaming, like, "Yo, bro," and I think everybody was tired of like, "Yo, bro, end it. Go to bed." And then I think people were falling asleep on that stream, like, yo, because some people just weren't responding, and then 2 hours later, like, "Oh shit, I just woke up." Yeah, no, I know. I push up on my sinuses, and it opens it up. I got tea with me right here. Don't worry. Is this gross? If I do this? Nah, I think it's chill, right? I feel like we have enough of a close relationship. I think I can do that. I think it's chill if I'm like sniffling in front of you guys. I think we're chill, right? It's only for the live stream. Only, what, 26 of you guys are watching right now? We're close. I think it's cool. I think I can sniffle in front of you guys like that. All right, next chapter. Let's update this. Chapter 89. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Oh, shit. Hold up. We made an Odyssey reference. Hold up. Wait a minute. We made a reference to the Odyssey. And what happens in this fucking arc? We literally build a boat to leave the island. I'm sorry. Am I reading the Odyssey or am I reading Shadow Slave? Guilty 3. This guy has some good taste. Chapter 89 is called Demon's Bones. Sunny had a lot of time to do before... What the fuck did I just read? Sunny had a lot to do before the sunset. The parts of the plan spun in his head, making it ache. He had to constantly remain focused, straining his will to its limits to just keep himself from forgetting everything. When it was not enough, he had to use the pain to augment his concentration. His hands and arms were covered in ghastly bite marks. Without the blood weave, Sunny might have fainted from the blood loss already. Still, with his pale face turning even whiter from the exhaustion and feverish light burning in his eyes, he must have looked like a zombie. Luckily, Cassie couldn't see any of it. It didn't take much to convince her to join the strange endeavor. The blind girl's state was way worse than his or Neff's. She seemed to barely be holding on. Her thoughts slow and meek. Sunny's heart was gripping with worry. Oh man, this nose. Why is she affected so much more than us? Is it because we have true names but she's not? Ah, so she can't repress it as much? Okay. Names were anchors of one sense of self. Anchors, I understand the reference. Okay, I've read Lord of the Mysteries. I understand the anchors part where everybody needs an anchor, right? Names were anchors of one sense of self. After all, could it be that the true name served as a similar role, only in matters having to do with the spell? He didn't know. Sending guided Cassie to the carcass of the Carapace demon, Nephis was already busy stripping plates of armor from its back. Her silver sword was seemingly able to cut through the deteriorated metal, making the task not as hard as he had been afraid of. Gently sitting the blind girl down in the spot where Neff could see her, he climbed the top of the dead demon and evaluated the progress of Change Star's work. She looked at him with a frown. Aren't you going to help? This was your idea after all. Sunny shrugged. Maybe later. You seem to be enjoying yourself anyways. Some people might not say that it's a fun little project to chase the boredom away, right? She blinked a couple of times, then said, I guess. Sunny nodded a couple of times, looking down the spots where stripped of armor plates, the demon's flesh was laid bare. The observed blood had coagulated, turning its dark as hard as stone. Here and there, the white layers of fat remained in pristine condition. Actually, I have another project in mind. Nephis raised an eyebrows. Oh, really? Sunny summoned his sword and stepped closer to the gap in the creature's armor. Yeah, I want to make a candle. Say those words. He began to cut, separating the fat from the hardened muscle tissue. Neff blinked a few times and then looked at Cassie. Hey, Cass, has Sunny lost his mind? No, he's like the most rational one right now, dude. The blind girl perked up at the same time at the sound of her name. Huh? Oh, I'm not sure. I think he's just bored. Sunny concentrated on his stats, not paying any of them any attention. For a moment, he entertained the idea of cutting himself with the Midnight Shard's razor-sharp blade, but then dismissed it. Cutting through the puppeteer shroud would he have been really hard, and he couldn't dismiss the armor in front of the girls. Well, to be more precise, he didn't want to. With a sizable chunk of the demon's fat in his hand, Sunny jumped down from the carcass and landed on the pile of the fallen leaves. Making a candle out of animal fat was not very hard. He just needed fire, water, and time. The wick could be made out of seaweed fibers. It's not going to be pretty, but he didn't care about the aesthetics. Leaving Nephis and Cassie behind, Sunny rushed back to their camp. The sun was already high in the sky. He spent the rest of the day doing two things, watching over the process of making the candle, running around the island, gathering as much fallen leaves as he could. From time to time, he would catch a glimpse of Nephis working on the boat, sometimes instructing Cassie to help her with the mental tasks. From what he could see, the boat was coming along nicely. Changing Star knew what she was doing. Of course, this was only possible because he had convinced her that this was just something he wanted to do for fun, and the girls knew that Sunny was planning to use the boat to escape the Ashen Barrow. The effects of the enthrallment would have kept erasing their memories of the task, making finishing it impossible. So if they knew why, it would just keep erasing their memories. Okay. As instead, Sunny was the only one who knew the true purpose of the boat. That way, he was forced to bear the full weight of the Soul Tree's mind corruption alone. He felt as though he was able to drop dead of exhaustion. His head felt like it was filled with molten iron. His vision was starting to become blurry, but but stubbornly, Sunny refused to give up no matter how tired he was, how much he wanted to let go, and ease the suffering, returning to the bliss of not knowing. He kept... What the fuck, man? That's so dark. He just wants to die. But stubbornly, Sunny refused to give up no matter how tired he was, how much he wanted to let go and ease the suffering, returning to the bliss of not knowing. Oh, wait, not necessarily dying, but like going back to that state. The bliss of not knowing. He kept his thoughts of one goal and one goal only, escaping the clutches of the soul devourer. Finally, with the evening approaching, the boat was ready. Looking at the walking corpse, Sunny slowly approached the demon's carcass, which was now cut up and sliced apart. It was as though a mad vivisector? Vivisector. The fuck is that word? Vivisector had a visit. Almost shut up. Had visited the island to perform an autopsy on the giant and forget creature back up. Nephis looked at him with concern. Sunny, are you alright? Giving her a crooked smile, he shrugged. I'm fine comparatively. He did not specifically want what exactly he was comparing his current condition to. Turning his head, Sunny looked at the boat with a dark satisfaction. It was now how he had imagined it. The hull was made out of curved plates of polished metal with sharp spikes protruding. Did stream crash? I think that was just a misspelled. I think it was just I wasn't mispronouncing it, I think it was just spelled wrong. So the hull was made out of curved plates of polished metal with sharp spikes protruding from them in all directions. The plates were held together by the golden rope that was tied tightly around them. Changing Star had managed to make the gaps between the different parts of the hull so thin that no water could sip through. The mast was made out of the demon's spine and ribs with Cassie's enhancement cloak hanging on them to serve as a sail. There was even a steering oar fashionable out of the tip of the giant scythe. He had expected to see a makeshift raft, but what met him, wow, was an actual vessel. Yes, it looks crude, but also strong, eerily macabre, and strangely impressive. Sailing upon the cursed sea on a boat made of demon bones sounds like the beginning of a legend. He thought, temporarily mesmerized by the ghastly visage of the carapace vessel. Nephis looked at him with a hint of satisfaction. Happy, now what? Sunny gathered his thoughts. Now, as soon as he tried to think of what he had to do next, an invisible barrier appeared in his mind, blocking any attempt to continue the thought. Now, we. No matter how hard he... Damn, so he can't even fucking say. Holy Machabri, pronounce it. Yeah, it's not good, man. I think until... I'm sorry, I'm using me being sick and stuffy nose excuse, but until we recover, I think the Badoon Devil will be striking repeatedly. I'm sorry. Hopefully next week will be better. But even no matter how hard he tried, Sunny couldn't quite remember what he had wanted to do. With a scrawl, he raised his hand and bit down on his mandible palms, feeling drops of blood flowing into his mouth. But even the pain did not help him destroy the barrier. Sunny smiled darkeningly and kneeling, placing his hand on the ground. Summoning the midnight shard, he raised his one hand and brought the pommel to the sword down without any hesitation. As the brittle bones on his ring finger shattered from the powerful strike, a wave of agony washed over his mind, obliterating the adamantine barrier. Now we get the hell out of here. Get him back on the boat! Go! We gotta go, dude! And then Nephis and everybody's like, what? Leave? No. I feel like they fight, bro. There's no shot Sunny doesn't fight Nephis. Like, I feel like Nephis would try and fight him to stay, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, chapter 90. Fuck yeah, man. You fucking go. Nightfall. I've seen that word before. Nightfall. I'm pretty sure I've read that name before. Something Nightfall. I don't know the significance behind that name, but I'm pretty sure Nightfall was something that popped up in like that pops up in the future. All right, let me sip my tea. Let me sip my tea and massage my nostrils. What a bad joke. What was a bad joke? What did a blind girl say after walking into the bar? What'd she say? Oh, what the fuck? No, did I got barbecue on my mug. One sec. What the fuck is there barbecue on my mug? Oh, I'm an idiot. I fucking put it on my food plate. Shit, give me a sec. What was the joke? Give me a sec. Hold up. Let me go get a napkin. One sec, guys. I'll be right back. I'll get the joke in 2,000 chapters. Man, you want to see a funny joke? Do you guys want to see my fucking video game backlog? It's pathetic, man. I have so many fucking games that I know I'm never gonna beat. Oh man, unless I fucking retire now in my 20s, I don't know if I'll ever catch up with my fucking backlog, dude. It's crazy. All right. Look, check it out. All the PlayStation 4 games are the bottom are games I've beaten on the PS4. Look at that. These are all video games I have beaten on my PlayStation 4, and these are all the games I have beaten on my PS5. Look at the fucking difference, man. It is... A part of me is sad, man. It's like, adulting, you just don't got time for games anymore. I see. I'm not laughing at that. Fucking Philip. Cassie's saying, I see. Are we back? We're back. Okay, we're back. Yeah, and then look. These are all the games I have not beaten. Sorry, I think because I laughed at the Cassie joke, stream disconnected. And look, these are the backlog games. All this is backlog. I have more PS5 games that I have not completed than I have completed. These are my PS4 backlog, and then these are my PS5 backlog games. And then I have all my Switch... I haven't beaten like half of my Switch games. My fucking Steam library, forget about it. My Epic library, forget about it. Forget about it. Crazy. All right, let's get back to reading. I think because I laughed at that Cassie joke that Philip said. Stream disconnected. Oh, no, what are we... Hi, I'm late again. What are we talking about? Shadow Slave. We're about 6 chapters away from the Volume 1 finale. Let's just jump right into it. Chapter 90 after stream disconnected. Yo, what's up? What's up? Yeah. So, chapter 90 of Shadow Slave is called Nightfall. Now, I mentioned it in the live stream. I have heard the name Nightfall. I'm assuming there's some significance with this name later on. I'm pretty sure I've read the word Shadow Slave and Nightfall in the same sentence before, but I don't know any significance. Chapter 90 is called Nightfall. Nephis stared at Sunny, shocked by his sudden act of self-mutilation, hissing. Oh snap, I lost my place. Hissing through gritted teeth, he dismissed the midnight shard and slowly rose back to his feet. Ah crap, that really hurts. His forefinger was red and swollen, pulsating with sharp pain. It was unmistakably broken, said it was so full of self-pity that he had wanted to cry. Why am I so unlucky? First thing nightmare in the nest, now this. How come no one else is suffering, just me? He conveniently decided to forget that Change Star had been literally torturing himself for weeks, and that due to her blindness, Cassie was always covering in bruises. Hearing his pained voice, the blind girl turned her head and asked, Sonny, what happened? He grimaced and tried to smile. Ah, it's nothing serious, really. I just sort of smashed my hand a bit. Nephis opened her mouth to say something, but he hurriedly interrupted whatever she had to say. Anyways, Neph, can you help me drag this gruesome masterpiece of yours to the edge of the island? At this point, one wrong question could make things very complicated. He didn't want to reveal the true purpose of his actions until the last moment. That way, oh, and then because he's farther away from the chi, you're more likely to kind of get away with it. Okay. He didn't want to reveal the true purpose of his action until the last moment. That way, he would have more leeway in how to deal with the problem should any arise. Change Star hesitated. A few seconds later, she shrugged, looking at him with concerned frowning. Are you sure you're okay? He forced a smile. I will be if you help me. Giving up, she shook her head and walked over to the front of the boat. Sunny turned to Cassie. We're off. Cass, wait here for a bit, alright? I'll come get you soon. She lingered as though not quite understanding his words, then answered with an uncertain expression. Okay. Sunny raised his healthy hand to grip her shoulder that hesitated and turned away with a dark look in his eyes. Enduring the pain, he walked towards the boat. Hold on a little more, Cassie. It will be over soon, I promise. The night was already approaching. Sunny and Nephis dragged the boat across the island, pulling it as oxen yoked to a wagon. The ash and sand was not the most difficult of terrains, but the spikes of the strange vessel's hull were making the task harder. Thankfully, the boat was lighter than it looked. Sunny knew that the alloy of the demon's carapace was extremely light from his experience with the Midnight Shard, which was forged from the same lustrous metal. If he were to believe the source description, this miraculous alloy came from a shard of a fallen star. Whether this omen was good or bad, he didn't know. Soon they heard a thundering rumbling in the distance. It came from the direction of the colossal crater. The dark sea was awakening. Oh shit. Alright, so we gotta go, bro. Gritting his teeth, Sunny grabbed onto the golden rope that was coiled around his chest and pulled harder. Come on, faster. The sun was just about to touch the horizon when they finally reached the edge of the island. Falling to his knees, Sunny released the rope with the gas for air, his chest rising and falling frantically. A wave of overwhelming exhaustion was dropping from his senses, making it hard to stay awake. Not yet, you can't let go yet. Nephis was silent, looking at him with a frown. For once, Sunny felt glad that she wasn't weirdly taciturn by nature. Gathering his strength, he stood up and glanced at the darkening sky. Oh, I scrolled down too much. At the darkening sky. Fuck. Come on faster. No, yeah, you can't let go. Oh, one sec. Darkening sky. Found my place. Time was running out. Turning to Nev, he strained his parched throat and said in a raspy voice, I'll explain everything once Cassie is here anywhere until I bring her, alright, please? Change Star stared at him for a few seconds, then shrugged with indifference and didn't say anything. I'll take it as a yes. What else could he do? Cursed under his breath, Sunny turned around and hurried away. He had one last task to accomplish before returning to Cassie, which is what? Sometime later, he came back to the spot where he had left Cassie. The blind girl was still there, sitting some distance away from the Carapace Demon's carcass and idly staring into the ground. Hearing the sound of his approaching footsteps, she smiled weakly. Sunny. He walked over, tired to the bone, and said, while trying to keep his tone casual, yeah, it's me. Then asked, do you have a fruit? I'm hungry. He flinched and shook his head. No, listen, we need to. I'm hungry. Do you have fruit? Sunny stopped looking at the blind girl with a forlorn expression. She sounded like a broken doll, repeating the same phrase over and over. Her condition wasn't good. He licked his lips. Come with me and your hunger will disappear. This was the best misdirection he could come up with in the confines of his flaw. However, this time he failed to achieve the desired effect. Cassie smiled and said, really? You'll take me to the fruits? Due to exhaustion and the deliberating effects of the enthrallment, Sunny got distracted for a moment and failed to control his flaw. Without realizing it, he opened... Oh, he told her no. Without realizing it, he opened his mouth and said no. Cassie pouted and lowered her head. That's not nice, Sunny. Why did you lie to me? Ooh, he lied to her. Still reeling from his mistake, Sunny missed the moment and made things even worse, turning a small oversight into a real problem. Because I want to take you away from this cursed land. Oh wait, not cursed land, cursed island. As soon as the words left his mouth, Sunny froze and opened his eyes wide, refusing to believe that he had just messed up that bad. However, the damage was already done. Cassie turned to him with a deep scowl. Take me away, but I don't want to leave. Why would I leave the sultry? Sunny silently cursed and shouted, abandoning any attempt to control himself. Because that thing is evil. It's pure goddamn nightmare. Come on, let's go. Grabbing her hand, he pulled the delicate girl away, but she resisted with surprising strength. Let go of... Oh, this is not good, bro. Let go of me, you jerk. Cassie managed to rip her hands away from his grip and flinched back. Oh no, wait, this is so sad. What the fuck? Let go of me, you jerk. Cassie managed to rip her hand away from the grip and flinch back, looking at Sunny with anger. I said I don't want to go. You're acting strange, Sunny. Stop, please. Sunny froze, not knowing what to do. The island is our home. It's so nice here. With the three of us together, why do you want to leave? He lingered, struggling to do what he knew he had to be done. Finally, Sunny gritted his teeth and said, because it's 5, remember? I'm sorry, Cassie. Then he lunged forward and violently grabbed the blind girl, easily suppressing her resistance. What are you doing? Stop. Help. Help. Neff. Throwing her over her shoulder, Sunny turned around and ran towards the edge of the island. Cassie resisted desperately, using her small fist to pummel him back with a rain of punches. This is kind of fucking sad, bro. This is kind of sad, bro. Despite the fact that she had never taken part in the battles against the nightmare creature of the Forgotten Shore, she still was considerably stronger than any normal person. All those soul shards Changing Stars had shared with her gave Cassie enough strength to make Sunny feel every strike. It wasn't enough to seriously injure him, but more enough to hurt like hell. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, Cassie. Deeply disturbed, Sunny tried to block out Cassie's desperate screams and rushed to the boat. His forehead was covered in cold sweat. As the last glimmers of light were dispersing from the sky, he finally returned to the edge of the island. The ghastly boat was silently standing on the
sand, just a few meters away from the restless black water. Changing Star was restless just in front of it, raising her head to look at the source of the commotion. Neff, help me, Sunny has gone crazy. Neff slowly rose to her. Shit, it's about to go down, dude. Oh, it's about to go down. Shit, lag. I think we're back. Wait, it's not. Before he could finish the sentence, the silver sword appeared out of thin air and aimed at the ground for now. Explain yourself. Changing Star's voice was even and calm, but Sunny could feel the hidden threat in it. Suddenly he saw her in a new light, or rather in an old one, as a potential enemy. Damn, yo, you guys are far in this series. The idea of facing off against Nephis sent chills raining down his spine. He had almost forgotten the feeling he got back in the academy, watching her wipe the floor with most of the sleepers in her batch. He had forgotten that she too was a monster. Damn, are they gonna fucking fight? Oh shit. Damn, you guys are pretty far. Oh man, why does it start with him licking his lips, man? Hold up, whoa, what is going on here? All right, if this chapter's called Escape, I'm feeling confident we make it out. 30, 25. G3 about to cook with that end game. I'm excited, man. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be. I'll be honest. It's probably gonna be a while before I get to that ending. I'll tell you that much. But the goal would be to finish this. All right, 91. Chapter 91 is called Escape. If it's called Escape, I think we're chilling. We don't fight. But licking his lips, Sunny cautiously said, "It's not as you think, Nephis. We've been caught." Wait one sec. "Is not as you think, Nephis. We've been caught in this trap by the Soul Tree. It's not benevolent. It's not protecting us. In fact, it's doing the opposite. If we don't leave this island, we'll become its slaves forever, or until it finds something stronger and devour us." She tilted her head and looked at him with an unreadable expression. "Come on, Nephis. Remember, we've talked about this already. This whole thing was your idea to begin with." For a moment, he thought that his words had awoken the stolen memories in her mind, but her response shattered those hopes into pieces. "Leave the great tree. You have really lost your mind. Curses." Changing Star raised her sword and said in a tone that made Sunny tremble, "Let Cassie go now." He hesitated, thinking about the best course of action. Then he carefully placed the blind girl on the ground. "All right, I did see. Now listen to me. I have something very important to tell you." Before he was done speaking, Nephis disappeared. Oh shit! She did the, she like disappeared, bro. So, you know the Omada motion, dude. And just disappeared. That's exactly what she just did. Oh, man. All right, I did. Now, listen to me. I have something very important to tell you. Before he was done speaking, Nephis disappeared from his view. Realizing that he was about to be attacked, Sunny prepared to defend himself. However, a moment later, he was already lying on the ground, the tip of the silver sword pressed against his throat. Changing Star was standing above him, pale lights burning in her eyes. Well, that was embarrassing. All his training, all the experience he had won in countless bloody battles, all the power he had gained, Sunny had really thought that he had stood a decent chance of standing his ground. I should probably raise... Can you guys hear the music? So he thought he can stand his ground, but he couldn't do nothing, dude. Damn. Let me raise the volume a little bit. A little bit. Music is okay? Okay. So I just do this. One would be templated. What? One would be tempted to call this shameful display a premature capitulation. Nice one, idiot. Now stop fooling around and focus. Feeling the cold steel touching his skin, Sunny tried to move as little as possible. He was pretty sure that Changing Star wouldn't just kill him in cold blood, but it was still better to not give her any reasons to do something drastic. After all, Neph's mind was not all there. Looking at her cold, indifferent face, Sunny strained his vocal cords and shouted in exasperation, "Aster Song Veil." A veil song? Aster? The Aster Song Veil? What does that mean? Neph's hands trembled, making a drop of blood roll down her neck. Her eyes opened wide, full of surprise and shock. Then a dark expression appeared on her face. Pressing slightly on the sword, she took a step forward and pierced him with a burning gaze. When she spoke, her voice was trembling with suppressed emotions. How do you know these names? Who are you?" Sunny blinked, equally as surprised by her reaction. He had thought that these words were just part of some code to jog her memory awake, but as it turned out, they were not. Aster Songville, what the hell does it mean? What can make Nephis lose her cool? It has to be something very important. Trying to stay as still as possible, he cautiously glanced at the blade of the sword and honestly answered, "I didn't even know what these words names. It's just that you told me to tell you this in case you forgot what had to be done. You said if I tell you this, you'll listen to me." Nephthys stared at him. A shadow of doubt appeared on her face for a split second. It was gone almost instantly, replaced by grim determination. Gritting her teeth, she snarled, Which domain? Asked her. You guys are going excited. She's the winter soldier right now. She's losing her memories. It's like she's hearing the Russian code, bro, from Winter Soldier. It's like, it's starting to jog her memories when she's like hearing the song. What the fuck does this mean though? Which domain do you belong to? Sunny had no clue what she wanted him to say. She just asked, What's a domain? She grinned. A magical glimmer appeared in her eyes. That was very unlikely, calm, composed Nephthys. If Sunny didn't know better, he would think that a completely different person was standing in front of him. A person that was much more unpredictable and dangerous. Meanwhile, Nephthys said, Don't pretend to, ... Suddenly what she remembers? Suddenly, she stumbled, then frowned. It seems as though Sunny's question touched something and changed Star's mind, causing a chain reaction. A few seconds passed, each turning her frown deeper. Slowly, the familiar poised calmness returned to her eyes. It didn't seem as though she had remembered everything, but just as Nephthys had promised, it seemed enough to make her listen to what Sunny had to say. He understood. It formed the fact that she had finally removed the tip of the sword from their throat. She even helped him stand up. Looking at Sunny with a strange expression, she then said, I really told you those words. Rubbing his slightly cut neck, he simply nodded. Blood weave was already busy repairing the damage to his skin. Nephthys looked down, then closed her eyes for a few moments. When she opened them again, they were full of resolve. What do I need to do? Sunny really wanted to ask her about the meaning of those three mysterious names, but decided against it. They had to hurry. Asked Cassie to summon her staff. They can get her into the boat. Dismissing her sword, Changing Star glanced at him for the last time and walked towards her friend. Somehow, Nephthys had managed to talk Cassie into following her and boarding the ghastly vessel. She probably had to lie about a lot of things, but Sunny didn't want to ask, afraid that his flaw would ruin everything. It's like good to be quiet. Once the girls were inside of the boat, he wrapped his tired body into the shadow and put his hands on the metal hull. Every part of his body seemed to hurt in its own unique way. His mind was utterly exhausted. Come on, Sunny, one last push. With a crooked smile, he strained his muscles and pushed the boat towards the black water. As the last slide of dust disappeared, submerging the world into absolute darkness. That's so fucking scary, man. The boat, built from the bones of a demon, slipped from the ashen sand and into the cold embrace of the dark sea. Following Sunny's instruction, Cassie aimed her staff at the activated its enhancement, causing a strong gale to fill their modest sail. At first, the boat moved slowly. The mast creaked under the pressure, but Changed Star's craftsmanship was meticulous and reliable. The demon's spine held, and little by little, the small vessel began to gain speed. Sunny sat at the stern, controlling the stirring oar. In front of them, an endless expanse of black water stretched at the horizon, hiding indescribable horrors in its depth. Behind them, the terrifying soul-devouring tree was slowly growing smaller. Sunny stared at it, feeling a deep sense of regret grip in his heart. He wished that he was powerful enough to destroy it, leaving just like that, without exacting revenge on the ancient monster. Filled him with anger. Well, at least he'd left it as a present. What the fuck did he leave it? He left it a present? Oh, I'm sorry. It's enchantment, not enhancement. I'm sorry. Sorry, I know, my bad. Enchantment, not enhancement, my bad. Well, at least he left it a present. Back of the Ashen Barrow, he's fucking burning it with a candle? Back of the Ashen Barrow, a candle was burning into a small alcove of stones that protected its flames from the wind. Near the candle, a tall pall of dry fallen leaves was he's gonna fucking burn the tree down, and then he's gonna say that he slayed he's gonna kill it. It's gonna take a while, but he's technically killing it because he set the thing on fire, right? Near the candle, a tall pall of dry fallen leaves was towering over the alcove, and it had taken Sunny a long time to gather that pile. He had scoured most of the island, hoping to make it as tall as possible. He had also mixed dry seaweed and the remaining fat of the carapace demons into its leaves. Sometime later, the small candle was nearing the end of its life. Most of the wax had already melted, turning it even smaller. Just as the flame was about to go out, it ignited the leaves. After a few seconds, a massive, searing bonfire ignited the middle of the island, illuminating the scarlet leaves of the evil tree. Almost instantly, the black water surrounding the island surged with movement. Sunny was already too far away to see any of it. He didn't know if the creatures of the Dark Sea would be able to obliterate the Soul Devourer. He strongly doubted that the ancient fiend was that easy to destroy. However, with the carapace demon dead and the 3 humans meant to replace him gone, there was no one on the island to protect the gluttonous tree. Perhaps it would be seriously harmed. At least, for now, it was the best he could do. Looking back in the direction of the Ashen Barrow, Sunny gritted his teeth and thought, one day I'll become power enough to destroy that tree. I am going to be so excited for that fucking day. He's going to come back to this dream realm, probably go somewhere else, take it out. One day I'll become powerful enough to destroy the tree, these monsters and anyone else who would dare to stand in my way. One day I'll become powerful enough to never be afraid again of anyone or anything. Instead of all of them will fear me. That sounds a little too mysterious, right? All of them will fear me, like he becomes a bad guy. He didn't notice that just as he was thinking these words, Cassie suddenly raised her hand and turned in his direction. On her dark face, a dark expression appeared, soon erased by uncertainty and doubt. We made it out. One day he will be back. Let me update this. Sip my tea and keep going. 39 minutes, 7 seconds. Give me 1 sec, guys. We're on 92. Sunny gonna become an aura farmer? Aura farmer, you say? I know an aura farmer from another web novel. His name was Klein. Okay, I'm down. One day, but ... what price, you say? Okay. I don't think I'm gonna make more tea. I think I'm good right now. If my voice gets raspy, I'll just get up and make some tea. But I feel like we're almost done. We got 4 more chapters. I think we can go 30 more minutes. Let's do 92. Chapter 92 is called Journey into the Night. And the absolute darkness of a small vessel was gliding on the black surface of a restless sea. Its mast, made of demon spine, was straining under the assault of the winds. In the eerie silence of the vast and lightless void, the swift boat cut through the waves like a blade. No sound could be heard except for the creaking of the bones and the crashing of the waters against its polished metal hull. Sunny sat on the oar, steering the carapace vessel. He was guiding them west, with no moon or stars to show them the path. It was hard to keep the boat on course, but there was a mark left in his mind by the cold and menacing shadow of the Crimson Spire. Using it as a compass, he was able to navigate the treacherous waters without losing his way. Black skies above, dark sea beneath, with nothing but a thin layer of steel separating them from a tenebrous abyss, they sailed through the night. That's so fucking scary, man. Below them, countless horrors were hiding in the cursed depths. Several times, Sunny felt gargantuan shadows moving close into the small boat, attracted by the sound of its passing. Powerless to do anything, he had no choice but to tremble in silence, praying that the terrible creatures would turn away because of Nephthys' armor, right? So far, luck was on their side. Perhaps they were too small and feeble to satiate the hunger of those ancient leviathans. A few hours after the start of the voyage, Sunny felt the constant pull of his mind had begun to wane. His thoughts were slowly becoming clearer, the haze of forgetfulness weakening with each minute. Soon, a ghostly sound of shattering glass resounded in his head. Instantly, the last remnants of the fog that was clouding his consciousness disappeared. He was free from the enthrallment of the soul devourer. Revealed, Sunny couldn't help but smile. However, his smile was weak and hesitant. With the effects of the mind hex gone, his usual sharpness had returned. It felt as though an invisible weight had been lifted, allowing his thoughts to finally flow unobstructed once again. Everything became clearer as though the whole world suddenly came into focus. It was a wonderful feeling, but with it came a better understanding of how terrifying and precarious their current situation was. They were quite literally balancing on the edge of a hungry abyss, their lives relying on nothing but the carapace fortune. The decision to venture into the dark expanse of the cursed sea of a makeshift boat was pure insanity, but then again, there was nothing sane about the forgetful shore to begin with. In this desolate hell, the craziest choice was something the best you had. Gritting his teeth, Sunny held the oar and stared into the darkness. A few minutes later, Cassie suddenly shifted, making the boat gently sway. She handed a magical staff to Nephthys and cautiously moved closer to Sunny, feeling her way through the darkness with her hands. Before Sunny could guess what was it that she wanted from him, he was suddenly caught in a tight embrace. The blind girl hid her face in his chest, hot tears streaming down her face. Sunny froze. It was a sweet moment, man. Sunny froze, stunned and having no idea what to do. He could feel Cassie's body press against him and shaking from crying. Her hands tightened rapidly around his neck. While he was trying to comprehend the situation, she quietly whispered, thank you. Bro, I feel like that's a death flag. Probably not anytime soon. But like, their chemistry is too good now. I'm getting too attached now. Thank you. Feeling extremely awkward, Sunny pretended to clear his throat. No need to thank you. It wasn't for your warning. We would still be stuck on that island, so we're even. Then he raised his hand and archly patted her on the back. Both of them were careful to keep their voices as quiet as possible, afraid that they will attract something from the Black Deaths. Cassie silently cried for several minutes, but then finally let him go. Wiping her face, she pulled her body away and whispered, "I'm sorry." Her voice sounded a bit strange. Confused, Sunny raised his eyebrows. What is she apologizing for? "Oh, I'm sorry for grabbing you back then." She smiled and, wiping the last tears from her face, turned away to move back to the middle of the boat. Sunny was left alone once again, with nothing to do except for holding the steering oar. He let his thoughts wander. With his mind clear again, many things were worth revisiting. He had to distract himself from the eerie pressure from the endless dark emptiness somehow anyways. Despite the fact that their experience with the Soul Devourer was nothing short of harrowing, Sunny had somehow managed to end up considerably better off than the other end of it. His haul this time was truly unbelievable. He had received an amazing new weapon, no less than 100 shadow fragments, and 2 new attributes. Spark of Divinity was a real improvement on his previous version. The ability to perceive the inner structures of memories alone opened a whole new horizon of possibilities. However, he was more interested in the mysterious blood weave. Somehow, Sunny felt that he had severely underestimated the uniqueness and importance of that attribute. Its origins, too, were covered in a veil of secrets. Who was the weaver whose... man, I forgot how to pronounce it. It's Ikior. He had consumed. Who were the unknown that even the spell was reluctant to mention? What was their connection to the gods? Why were the type of ranks of the initial memory he had received from the vile thieving bird spawn left empty? How was it even possible for memory to give and awaken new attributes? The last question guided him to think of something else. Glancing up, he stared at Nephthys and tried to recollect their conversation. Looking back, she had revealed a lot of things that had failed to notice in the moment. First of all, Sunny now knew that Cassie's enhancement armor, which had been given to her by Changing Star, was an awakened memory of the 6th tier. That meant that it came from the Awakened Terror, a nightmare creature one class above the mountain... What the fuck? One class above the Mountain King that he himself had killed in his first nightmare. The secret of how Changing Star had managed to earn her true name was now one step closer to being revealed. Icor. I said Icor? Icor. Got it. Let me see. Icor. Right here.
Icor.
We got it. It's Icor. So it's not. So why the fuck does it have a CH? If there's a K in it. Icor. Greek mythology. The fluid that flows like blood in the veins of the gods. Okay, I feel like that's a hint to his attribute.
Icor.
All right, that's badass as fuck. All right, next chapter. Chapter 93. Shit, man, I cough and my fucking head hurts. I'm trying my best to not cough, because that does not help. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I feel like December for me, it's like like flu season for me, man. I apologize. The spelling devil strikes. Also, without saying where we should or should not be reading this translation, I feel like there's mistranslations. Not gonna lie. What I'm reading... wait, hold on. I'm not lying. Where I am reading it... Which... Moving on. Where I am reading it, there are mistranslations. There are some words I read that I know are spelled wrong, and I'm trying to not read it that way, so I'm reading it the proper way. So it does not help that there's also mistranslations here. It's written in English. I'm just saying, man. Where I am reading it, there are a few typos. But I know it's originally written in English. I remember hearing that. But it's in English. I know. I've said too much. I'll be quiet now. All right, let's keep reading. I've said too much. I have said too much, people. Everybody, be enthralled. Be enthralled and forget what I said. Did somebody say One Piece? I'm sailing the seas alongside the gang here, okay? That's all I'm saying. Not a lot. I'm catching a few. I'm catching like one or two, if not like every chapter, every other chapter. Let's just say I am sailing the seas with our gang right now. Yeah, no, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry, Pap. I do plan to continue Soulforged. All I know is I think the official release was now in December, or did it already start in November? I gotta look at it. Yeah, because I know I was waiting until the official release of Soulforged before I read it. Anyways, next chapter. Yeah. Anyways, next chapter. We gotta finish this. Finish my tea. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back and look at it. I need to go look at the release schedule for Soulforged. That way I have it bookmarked. Next chapter, 93. It already started? Okay. Thank you for reminding me, Pep. I'll look, you know what, after this stream, I'll look into it. I'll see, like, how, like, what's the release or, like, when chapters come out. Because I like chapter 1, but damn, man, chapter 1 was, like, fucking 30 minutes. That one chapter was 30 minutes. Chapter 93 of Shadow Slave is called Blackwater. Apparently, as far as accomplishing the impossible went, Nephis had outdone even Sunny, and Aspirant triumphing over the awakened tyrant was already unbelievable enough. But killing an awakened terror gave the word unbelievable a whole new meaning. No wonder her aspect ability is so versatile. Now, he was almost sure that Changing Star's aspect was that of divine rank, just like his. That would explain. Oh my god. Oh my goodness, man, fucking kill me. You should also read after volume notes for G3. Oh yeah, bet. We'll look at it. Thank you for reminding me, Night Shadow. If you guys have it on Discord, we'll post it right now in the general. Yeah. Now that he was almost sure that Changing Star's aspect was that of divine rank, just like this, that would explain why she was able to both heal and destroy with her strange and formidable powers, a combination as rare as his own shadow aspect. What's the probability of two sleepers with divine aspects ending up so close to each other in the dream realm? Close to 0. It seemed like the unpredictable fated... Oh, okay. It seemed that the unpredictable fated attribute had twisted the strings of fate once again. Sunny felt shivers running down his spine. His innate attributes were capable of bringing both terrible curses and incredible blessings. At first glance, their meeting with Nephis seemed like the latter, but if it was truly the result of fated manipulating destiny, it could turn out to be the worst calamities in the end. After all, one of the possible meanings of her true name was Star of Ruin. The fear he had felt in the short moment before crossing the swords with Nephis was still fresh in his mind, and there were other things that she had revealed too. She apparently knew something about the drop of Ichor, being that she had called it the lineage memory without batting an eye. That suggested that Nephis knew much more about the spell than Sunny and the rest of the public did. It seemed... Oh, she's hiding stuff. It seemed as though there were many secrets in the upper echelons of the Awakened that they didn't want anyone else to know. The three mysterious names, just like an LTM. Oh, when you're hiding the information of the higher sequences, they're hiding stuff here too. All right, I like that. The three mysterious names she had told him might have been another one of those secrets, and the last words she used, such as domain, had belonged to. What were these domains? So many questions. Sunny spent hours pondering them, as well as going over all the information about the forgetful shore he had gathered. The carapace boat flew over the dark waters, drawing closer and closer to the western horizon. Soon he felt that the night was already drawing in its last breaths. The light of hope ignited Sunny's heart. However, this was when their luck had finally run out. The disaster came unexpected, violently throwing them into a void of confusion. This time, Sunny had not felt anything approaching the boat. The danger simply appeared out of nowhere, leaving him no time to react. 1 second, the black waters were calm and clear. The next, they were boiling with movement. Grotesque tentacles rising from them and wrapping themselves around the hull of the boat. So he tried to jump to his feet, but at that moment, the whole vessel was violently jerked to the side. Falling, he heard the moans of the metal being bent and torn apart. Then salty water filled his mouth. Rising, he caught a glimpse of Nephis standing at the bow of the boat, her silver sword lashing out in the Prussian tentacles. However, blinded by the darkness, she failed to notice a different threat. Another tentacle twisted and coiled around her body. Then, without even a scream, she was gone, dragging into the dark depths with no hope to return. All that remained was a long blade stuck helplessly into the bulbous flesh of the massive tentacle. Sunny's eyes widened in disbelief. No. This can't be happening. The whole of the carapace vessel was then crushed and torn into pieces, throwing them... I'm sorry, they actually fell in the water. throwing him into the cold black water. For a moment, Sunny was stunned by the coldness, then wrapped a shadow around his body. He swam up, trying to reach the surface. Soon he succeeded and spun, trying to see something, anything to give him hope. But there was nothing. Oh, so fucking scary, man. But there was nothing around, only undiluting waves and twisting tentacles, except for, far in the distance, Sunny noticed an unclear shape rising above the water. He strained his eyes, trying to discern its nature, then his heart skipped a beat. A few hundred meters away, a giant stone hand towering above the surface of the sea, its palm open as though trying to embrace the sky. It was slender and delicate, craved by the unknown sculpture with almost inhuman skills. If Sunny didn't know better, he would have thought that he had belonged to a living, breathing being. But all of that didn't matter right now. All that mattered was that he had a chance to survive. Straining every muscle in his body, Sunny dodged the twisting tentacles and swam towards the hand, moving as fast as he could. But then he suddenly stopped and looked back. Like, what? Where's Nephis and Cassie? Mishappened pieces of metal and bones, all the remaining of the boats, were floating on the surface of the dark sea. He had seen Nephis being pulled under the water by tentacles of the... oh, he goes back for her. Oh, he's going back for her. He had seen Nephis being pulled under the water by the tentacles of the unknown creature by Cassie, clad in the enhanced attention-repelling tunic, had chanced to escape. I read that so wrong. He couldn't just leave without at least trying to find her. Or fucking shit, or can I? A dark thought appeared in Sunny's mind. After all, his own survival was the only thing that really mattered. Everything else was just a distraction. Why don't you think about yourself for a second? Are you really going to risk your precious life? Yes! Of the on one chance that his helpless girl is still alive. He hesitated. Admit it. She's nothing but a burden. This dude is fucked up, bro. Admit it. She's nothing but a burden. You always knew that one day she was going to drag you down. Yes, he did. But what? You're going to die fool. Turn around and flee now. Why was he even hesitating? This was his chance to escape. His only chance, perhaps. He even had to survive. Even feeling almost an unbearable feeling of regret filling his chest, Sunny slowly inhaled. Then he gritted his teeth and dove down. Heading back to the spot where their boat had been destroyed. What are you doing? Have you lost your mind? He couldn't see in the black water, but his shadow senses were still somewhat effective. He had a chance to feel Cassie's presence, at least if she wasn't already dead and dragged to the bottom of this cursed abyss. You fool, how is she worth it? Why are you doing this? Grimacing, he forced his annoying inner voice to shut up. In his mind, the answer was clear. Because I want to. He fucking saved her, dude. That's some fucking good character development, bro. Yeah, you fucking said it, man. Oh, that's so good. I love how, like, he was so fucking, like, bro, leave her. She's a burden. She's just dead weight. Leave her. Go fucking save herself. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you wasting time? Because I want to fucking do it. Oh, I like it. That's some good character growth. I like it. It kind of. I've been reading Mistborn, and the MC Vin. She's kind of like that. It's like she's thinking of trusting people, or like, oh, I should be this person now. But then in the back of her head, she can remember her brother's teachings. Like, stop it. Everyone will betray you. Trust nobody. Like, yeah, like that's basically it. Like, trust no one. Anybody can betray you at any moment. It's literally you and yourself. And I like how Sunny had the same mentality, but he's like, nah, fuck it. I want to do it. Peak music. Yeah, man, there's some good music, man. What's his name? Griffith Tyler? Griffith Tyler makes some good music. I felt like I should have played this song in between this chapter. So when the song kind of like crescendos into the final part, it's like, it hits at the end of the chapter, you know? But let's read the next chapter. Oh, this ugly ass nose. 52 26. We're reading 94, right? Let me put the chapter title. This part. All right, second and last chapter. Yeah, tag me. Yeah, we'll look at the notes right now. But let's see. Second and last chapter of Volume 1. Because he wanted to. For once, Sunny's heart was full of fear and despair. Instead, it was filled with defiant indignation. Let me lower the volume. I feel like it's kind of loud. With indignation, he was tired of bending under the pressure of the world, fearfully clutching to the tiniest glimmers of hope, always afraid, always willing to do anything, abandon anything just to survive for another day. It wasn't enough to anyone. He wanted to make the world bend to his wishes instead. He wanted to live like a human being instead of an animal. In these past months, Sunny had changed without even noticing. Somehow he had grown unsatisfied with his previous way of living. One where his sole goal of survival at all costs overshadowed everything else. Whether he lives or dies, he had always been the only thing that mattered. But now, how he lived mattered more. Damn. That's some fucking good character development, dude. What was the point of having no master if he lived like a slave? Damn, that's deep. Gritting his teeth, Sunny dove into the dark abyss. The cold, oh my god, it's gonna be fucking Nephis, huh? Nephis is gonna be his master. What was the point of having no master if he lived like... Dude, it's gonna be Nephis. I feel like all this is setting up Nephis. Gritting his teeth, like when he trusts her, I feel like he chooses Nephis and like reveals everything. Gritting his teeth, Sunny dove into the dark abyss. The cold water embraced him like a burial shroud. He couldn't see in the cursed blackness, relying only on his shadow senses for guidance. Salt seeped into the bite marks into one hand and cut on his neck, making them burn. Not paying the agony any attention, Sunny used his considerable strength to propel himself deeper and deeper into the darkness. How he could feel the giant tentacles moving into the water around him, pulling the pieces of the carapace boat into the gargantuan maw that was hiding somewhat far below. Once or twice, he had to desperately twist his body to avoid being touched by one of them. Let me loop the song. Let me loop the song. Fuck. Avoid being touched by one of them. Okay, found my place. But still, no sign of Cassie. His lungs were starting to burn. Sunny dove deeper. At this depth, the water pressure was starting to affect his movements, making each stroke feel heavier. Even with his body enhanced by the shadow, there was a limit to how much it could withstand. Sunny suspected that without the blood weave, he could have suffocated a long time ago. What's worse, he felt as though he was getting closer and closer to the actual body of the unknown horror that had destroyed their vessel. Oh, it's the tentacle creature? He still couldn't sense its massive shape, but judging by the grip of the tentacles surrounding him, the monster couldn't have been that far. And then Sunny finally noticed something. A short distance away from him, a small shadow was struggling against a much larger... Oh shit, Cassie's being caught. She got caught. A small shadow was struggling against a much larger and ferocious one, Cassie. Gathering all his strength, Sunny swam towards the blind girl with as much speed as he could muster. As he drew near, he could discern the details of what was happening. Cassie was being pulled down, a smaller tentacle coiled around her body. She was still struggling, trying to get free, but her movements were growing weaker with each second. She was suffocating. Filled with fury, Sunny propelled himself forward and grabbed onto one of the tentacles, feeling slippery flesh throbbing. This is so cool, dude. What the fuck, man? This is getting kind of hype. Feeling slippery flesh throbbing in his grip. If he had any chance, he would have avoided touching that thing at all costs. But fighting underwater was tricky. If he wanted to deliver any sort of powerful blow, he had to find some form of support first. Summoning the Midnight Shard, Sunny strained every muscle in his body and slashed across the tentacle, right below the point where it was coiled around Cassie's lower torso. He knew that he wouldn't be able to do any serious harm with that strike, which was slowed down to a crawl by the burdensome resistance of the black water. However, his amazing sword was still sharp enough to cut into the fleshy tentacle, causing a cloud of dark blood to gush out from the wound. The tentacle furiously twitched and shot sideways as though trying to shake the attacker off. Flying through the darkness, Sunny held on for his dear life and moved his blade upward, slicing the spongy flesh apart. He never hoped to chop the tentacle off with one strike. No amount of strength would have allowed that to happen. Luckily, swords were able to pierce, slash, and cut. Pushing the blade, Sunny cut deep into the tentacle where the tsuba was about to touch the wound. He changed his grip and pulled the tachi. Oh yeah, it's not a katana, it's called a tachi. I was like, what's a tachi? And pulled the tachi down. Monster's flesh spread apart under the razor-sharp blade, barely offering any resistance. A torrent of blood surged out, and with the last push, the tentacle was completely severed. Sunny was finally able to turn his attention to Cassie, see how she was doing. When hit, oh my god, stream just crashed. Sunny stream literally just crashed. Are we back? Okay, stream's back. It crashed, but we're back. We're back. What he sensed made him scrawl. The blind girl was barely conscious. He needed to get her to the surface as fast as possible. Pushing away the twitching remains of the tentacles, Sunny dismissed his sword and grabbed Cassie across the torso. Feeling how cold her skin was through the thin fabric of her tunic, weakly she tried to resist, not realizing that it was him and not the monster. Pressing the blind girl to his chest, Sunny turned his head and felt a wave of desperation crashing against the walls of his mind. His lungs were in agony, no air whatsoever left in them. His body was slowly losing its strength, full of terrible pain and a thirst lusting for a breath of fresh air with maddening intensity. Even if he can see anything at this point, his vision would have begun to darken, and they were so far away from the surface. What's worse, the horror of the depths was now alerted to his location. Countless tentacles were already moving, surrounding them in an impenetrable barrier of flesh. A second or two later, they would be crushed to death in a devastating embrace of the sea monster. Sunny didn't know how to save them, but he wasn't going to give up no matter what. Making the arduous stroke with his one free hand, he held tightly onto Cassie and swam up. The tentacles were approaching, blocking all paths to escape. Sunny gritted his teeth, and in the next moment, the water around them suddenly turned pure white. Is it Nephis? An incandescent it's Nephis. An incandescent radiance filled a vast emptiness of the cursed sea, obliterating any sight of darkness. The explosion of the light was so intense that it pierced through. It's fucking sick, dude. The explosion of the light was so intense that it pierced through the Sunny's eyelids and hurt his eyes. It was as though a miniature sun had ignited somewhere far below them, turning the endless black abyss into a pristine white void. Tidal currents of radiant water surged tumultuously, throwing the world into disarray. Their gargantuan tentacles convulsed and writhed madly, as though in the throes of the unbearable pain. The unbreakable barrier of flesh fell apart. Sunny wasn't about to let this chance go. Straining his suffocating body, he swam to the surface, dodging the this is gross, man. Dodging the writhing tentacles with the ferocious white sun burning in the depths below. He could see their shapes clearly. Moving faster and faster, he propelled himself up with everything he had left. Sunny knew that the surface that fast was dangerous, but there was no other choice. Both Cassie and himself did not have a lot of life left in them. They needed air. Although it seemed like an eternity, the white radiance began to dim just a few moments later. But it didn't matter. Sunny was already past the barrier of tentacles, swimming up the desperate speed. He was afraid that they wouldn't make it. His consciousness was already beginning to wane, slowly slipping into the cold clutches of the empty nothingness. Even knowing that there was nothing but water around, he was still overwhelmed by the suicidal desire to... What the fuck, bro? He was overwhelmed by the suicidal desire to open his mouth and inhale as deeply as he could. His muscles were spasming, devoid of oxygen for too long. And then finally, Sunny's head broke the surface, blinding by pain. He drew in gasping breath and coughed uncontrollably. Held tightly in his arms, Cassie was doing the same. Her chest was regularly moving up and down, sucking in the sweat ambrosia of the air. Sunny never knew how precious it was before, not even while being slowly poisoned by the harmful, polluted air of the outskirts. They made it. Trying to compose himself, Sunny looked around. The last remnants of the white radiance were long gone, erased as if they had never existed. There was once again consumed by absolute darkness. However, far away in the east, the first light of the dawn was about to shine from beyond the horizon. Catching the glimpse of the giant stone hand, Sunny gripped Cassie's shoulders and swam that direction. We fucking made it, dude. In G3 we trust. In fucking G3 we trust, man. That is sick as fuck, man. Alright, I guess it's the last chapter, right? Of volume 1? Let's fucking finish it, man. Hold up, man. Not to be morbid, but this is like bringing up a core memory, man. Well, it's not a core memory. But when I was a kid, man, and I'm talking like kid, I wasn't even 10, man. I was like less than 10. I was holding my bro in like a pool, and I went a little too deep into the shallow part, and I started suffocating. I started choking, swallowing water, and I couldn't breathe, bro. And I was like, and I remember like my brother, man, he was like a toddler at the time, and I'm trying to like hold him up, bro, because like, oh shit, it's like if I drown, it's like he drowns. So I'm like pushing him up. But then somebody else I know a lot older than me at the time, like he just yanked us up, and I'm like, oh shit, thank you. It was only a few seconds, man. Like I wasn't drowning for that long, but for like a few seconds, I just swallowed a shitload of water, and that shit scared me, man. That shit was fucked up. I don't know how the fuck I just remember that right now. That was so long ago, man. That was like fucking over 20 years ago. Alright, chapter 95. You guys fucking ready? Last chapter. Fucking go, man. Let me sip some water. Let me hydrate. By the way, dude, for people that are watching the live stream, make sure you check out the video after. But leave a comment, man. Get some engagement. Nah, you don't have to apologize. That was my dumbass. That was a long time ago. No, it's just crazy. Like, it was only for a few seconds, man, but like, it happened so fast, bro. It's crazy, bro. Dude, if nobody was there to help me, bro, you wouldn't be getting these streams, man. I could have been dead, and no one would have found us. We're like, yo, where did they go? It's like, fucking, we're at the bottom of the water. It's fucking scary, dude. All right, 95. Chapter Chapter 95, the last chapter of our read-through series. No, I'm fucking kidding. The last chapter of Volume 1, brothers and sisters, is called Starlight. And I feel like that represents Nephis, maybe? But let's find out. Sunny felt that he was at the end of his rope. He had put himself through too much abuse during these last few days. Now it was hard to even remember when was the last time he had slept. A day before climbing the soul-devouring tree in search of a special fruit, perhaps. Since then, he had lived through the harrowing torture of the blood-weave transformation, spent countless hours on the verge of mental collapse to resist the effects of the enthrallment, mangled his hands to stay lucid, guided the boat through the terrors of the dark sea in absolute darkness, saw it being destroyed by the horrid dweller of the deep, and gave the battle to that monster, the cold black depths, almost drowning as a result. His body and mind were on the brink of shutting down. It's like he's fucking losing control, man. It's LOTM reference. Despite that, Sunny stubbornly continued to swim, bringing himself and Cassie closer and closer to the giant stone hand that was rising from the water as though trying to embrace the skies. The dark sea was surging around him, still reeling in the effects of the light explosion. Still reeling in from the effects of the light explosion that had rocked it some time earlier, tall waves were threatening to drown the two sleepers, throwing them across the round like toys. Struggling against them was a hard task, and still he persisted. The dawn was drawing closer, but now... Now I'm getting a phone call. One sec. Got it straight. We caught a straight bullet, but we're good. We're good. The dawn was drawing close, but for now, there was still nothing but cold darkness and danger all around them. Any second, something could arise from the depths of the abyss and put an end to their desperate attempt to save themselves. At least the tentacles were gone, perhaps scared away by the pain of being exposed by the searing light. By some miracle, Sunny eventually managed to reach the stone hand. Hoisting Cassie up, he helped her climb on the dark rocks and followed closely behind. Soon they reached the open palm, one hand, and crawled onto its center. They fell down, utterly spent and exhausted. For a long time, neither of them was able to talk. All Sunny could do was lay motionless, drawn in raspy breaths, and tried to stay awake. His mind was empty of thoughts. That was fine, because he didn't want to think. If he did, he would be forced to remember what had happened to. Shut up. What was the point of remembering? He couldn't change anything. The sound of the black water crashing against the base of the giant hat reminded him that the night was still not over. Opening his eyes, Sunny tried to understand that their current circumstances. Their shelter was slightly raised above the waves, and the base of the giant thumb almost touching the surface of the dark sea. The palm was not very spacious, roughly half the size of the circular platform that had saved his life on the first day of the Forgotten Shore. Wow, that was a while ago. That was so long ago, man, especially at my pace. That was like 6 months ago, man. It's been so long since I read the beginning. It was angled upward, creating a slight slope. The fingers were higher above the waves and wide enough to accommodate a person, but they were bent upwards towards the sky, making them less suitable to serve as a refuge. We need to get further away from the water. With that thought, Sunny tardily stood up and bent down to touch Cassie's shoulder. Cassie, stand up. We have to move higher. His voice sounded hollow and brittle. The blind girl flinched and raised her head, her skin deeply pale. Sunny, he nodded. Yeah, it's me. She was still in shock. Sunny could see that Cassie's mind was still not all there yet. She gently pulled her to her feet. Come on, let's go. It's just a few meters. She lingered. What happened? I heard a sound, and then something was pulling me down. He gritted his teeth and tried to keep his tone even. We were attacked by a sea monster. The boat was destroyed. I dove down and managed to find you, then swam to the pile of stones. It was not very high above the water, so Cassie wavered. Where's... Suddenly hurried to interrupt her, unwilling to answer the next question. Come follow me. We can rest when we're higher. Gently guiding the blind girl, Sunny climbed to the base of the giant hand's index finger, which was the highest point that they could reach without climbing the fingers themselves. Sitting down on the cold stone, he rested his back against the giant phalanx and stared at the restless surface of the dark sea. His eyes were cold and empty. Cassie was silent by his side. Her pale face was contorted as though she simultaneously wanted to ask the questions and dreaded the answer. Finally, gathering her courage, the blind girl whispered, her trembling voice and barely audible, Sunny, where is Nephis? He stayed silent, not willing to speak the words out loud. Stupidly, he felt that if he spoke them, they would become the truth. But if he didn't, there was still a possibility that there was no lie. I'm not answering. A few moments later, the familiar pressure appeared in his mind. The pressure grew and grew, making his head spin. I'm not. Then the piercing pain came. Sunny stubbornly endured. He lasted for much longer than he had ever done before. He kept his mouth shut until his hot tears rolled down. Oh, he's crying. Oh, he's crying. Keeping his mouth shut until hot tears rolled down his eyes, his whole body shaking from the terrible suffering. But eventually, he was still forced to say those words, those bitter words. She's gone. Before he could finish, a subtle sound attracted his attention. It came from below, from the edges of the restless dark waves. Sunny's heart skipped a beat. Out of their base of the giant thumb, where the cursed sea was almost touching its stone surface, a pale white hand appeared from the black water and grabbed onto the rocks. Then a tall figure slowly pulled itself onto the open palm of the stone giantess. His eyes widened, feeling that something was wrong. Cassie turned her head and asked, "Sunny, what is it?" He trembled and whispered, gripping with sorrow, "It's Nephis." An uncertain smile appeared on the blind girl's face. "Nephis, she is alright." Sunny found himself unable to answer. No, Nephis was not alright. Fuck yeah, man, she was almost dead, dude. In fact, he didn't know how she was even alive. The Starlight Legion armor was shattered and torn, revealing the mutilated flesh. Mutilated? Her flesh was mutilated? The Starlight Legion armor was shattered and torn apart, revealing the mutilated flesh beneath. There was a horrifying gaping wound on Changing Star's torso, looking as though almost half of her right side was missing. What the fuck? Sunny could see the sharp shards of broken... What the fuck? He could see her ribs? Sunny could see the sharp shards of broken ribs, the rivers of blood streaming down her legs. Oh, this is so bad. And the mangled mess of the viscera spilling on the edge of the wounds. He wanted to close his eyes. Another large chunk of flesh was missing from her thigh. What the fuck, dude? Missing from her thigh, exposing the shredded remnants of the muscles that the white surface of the femur. Oh, that's bad. Cracked and barely holding together, her right arm was severely damaged too. In fact, it was almost torn off, hanging only by a narrow strip of skin. And what the fuck happened to her? And a few tendons like that of a mistreated broken marionette. Even her face was not spared. One of Nephis's eyes was... What? I'm sorry, she can heal, right? I know she can heal, but like, to what extent? One of Nephis's eyes were gone, its sockets crushed and shattered. The skin of her cheek was shaved off as though the sandpaper... No, she's not dead, bro. I've seen way too much fan art of her for her to be dead. Nah. The thumbnail I've used before looked like they were fighting on land together in unison. Nah. Leaving behind a mangled mess of bleeding flesh and broken teeth. The sight of her was harrowing and heartbreaking. It was apparent that What? It was apparent that Changing Star was about to die. Sunny, what are you not answering? He glanced at Cassie and bit his lip, trying once again to suppress the answer that was finding its way out. Something sharp and hot was stabbing at his heart, making his vision blurry. Meanwhile, Nephis staggered and blindly stepped forward. Her lips buckled and she heavily fell to her knees, splattering blood all over the cold surface of the stone. A terrible moan escaped from her lips as the crackled femur finally shattered. Ah! Bone piercing through the muscles and skin. Sunny felt as though he was thrown into the worst nightmare. He wanted to scream, but this voice was gone. A deep, almost physical pain was tearing from his mind. He didn't want to be here. He didn't want to see this, and yet he couldn't look away. That's why he noticed instantly when the... Oh, fuck yes, she is. At me for 1 second, bro. And yet he couldn't look away. That's why he noticed instantly when the two white flames ignited Neph's eyes. The radiance grew brighter and brighter, spilling... starlight. Grew brighter and brighter, spilling from her eyes, her mouth, the gaping wounds in her body. It was as though there was a flaming star burning in the place where her heart should have been, as though she was nothing but white flame hidden behind a thin layer of human skin. The incandescent radiance filled Changing Star's blood, turning it into streams of liquid white fire. As Sunny watched, frozen in place with his eyes opening wide, the fire began to melt and reshape her flesh. Slowly, her muscles repaired herself, her organs returned to their places, her bones reassembled themselves from the shards. Where there was nothing to replace a missing part, the fire took its shape and solidified. Oh, it fills it in. With a terrible scream, Nephis grasped her almost severed arm and she tears it off and tore it away, then pressed it to the... Oh, she puts it back? Then pressed it to the stump that was bleeding with white flames. Soon the mangled halves melted together, becoming whole again. Shocked, he saw every terrible wound of her body heal, washed in purifying fire. Soon there was nothing but pristine white skin showing through the wide gaps in the shattered armor. Nephis raised her head, looking at them but not seeing anything. There was no recognition in her gaze, all understanding destroyed by the cruel crucible of the sacred fire. Then the last daughter, oh, the Immortal Flame clan. Hold up, Immortal Flame. She has the Immortal Flame, the Starlight. because even if she's dying, the starlight brings her back. Thus, the immortal flame. I see it. I see it. Then the last daughter of the immortal flame clan closed her eyes and fell to the ground, losing consciousness. Finally, the first rays of sunshine appeared from beyond the eastern horizon. The dawn was coming. In the end, Nephis had remained unconscious for an entire 2 days. On the third day, she finally opened her eyes and slowly rose, looking around in subtle confusion. Her face, as usual, was calm and indifferent. However, she did not flinch a little when her gaze fell on Sunny, who was sitting at the top with a giant hand's index finger and grinst from ear to ear at her. Frowning, Chani Star looked at herself over, noticing the embarrassing gaps in her armor, and said, Why are you smiling? Sunny gave her a mischievous wink and shrugged. Look behind you. Lingering for a few seconds, Nephis sighed and turned around, wondering what it was that she wanted her to see. Behind her, a dark expanse of land was rising above the slope of the colossal crater. And we see the castle in the distance, right? Colossal crater. And on it, a tall city. So we're going to like a dream realm city, and on it a tall city was built of it's gonna be a good arc. We're gonna go in the city, and on it a tall city was built of gray polished stone, was towering over the giant chasm of the abyss. It looked ancient but still impenetrable and able to withstand the crushing pressures of the dark sea for 1,000 more years. They've made it. They found the human castle. Oh shit, we fucking did it, dude. That's hype. That's a fucking Fellowship of the Ring ending when Frodo and Sam look over the mountain and see like the vast expanse of Middle Earth, bro. End of Volume 1, Child of Shadows. Damn! That was badass as fuck, dude. Shit. Oh, that's fucking good. We fucking did it, dude. God damn, man, it took us a long ass title. It took us a long ass fucking time, man. We finally finished Volume 1. Hold on, I'm doing my timestamp. Alright, we fucking so proud of you, Easy. Hell yeah, I'm proud of myself. It took me way too, I'll be honest. It took me way too long to finish this arc, man. But you guys have to understand. We started with Lord of the Mysteries, and I wanted to finish that bitch without like spreading myself too thin and reading Shadow Slave and Lord of the Mysteries equally. But bro, we did it. Rami, you said exactly what I was gonna say. I am so locked in on buying the physical releases. This volume is about to receive a physical book. Dude, I'm buying it day one. I hope they have a physical copy, or they sell early copies at Anime Expo next year so I can buy it. Because that's what I did for Omniscient Reader Viewpoint. They sold it like a few weeks early, and I bought that bitch. Oh, it was good. All right. Now, here's the thing. I don't think I'm going to read the author notes. We're going to save that for later. So we're going to keep this a little bit short. I love Shadow Slave. I think I'm locked in. I've heard a few complaints. I feel like feedback is good, right? I feel like feedback is good. People don't just always praise something. I feel like it's like for Wheel of Time. I'm getting myself into Wheel of Time, and apparently I hear there's like this middle part of the series where it's like it just drags. Like it's like the dragging part of Wheel of Time. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but one thing I have heard of Shadow Slave, there's a part in the series where it kind of like doesn't progress as much, quote unquote, where people say it's filler. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true this filler arc is, but I am down. At least Volume 1 alone, Child of Shadows, is so good that I want to keep reading. And I haven't even finished the first arc. I've only read Child of Shadows, and I already really like it. I think I like the first half more, because you guys know me. I like straight action. I like it when you just go in, go guns blazing, and you just fight. So I feel like maybe parts of it were slow when people were like, oh, what happened again? What are we doing? What's with this tree? Like maybe that part was a little bit slow for me, but it's like, it wasn't like long enough or it dragged on long enough for me to not like it. I liked every chapter. Everything was really good. Wasn't? Okay, so I did tell you I didn't recommend reading too heavy lore novels with how long time between chapters. Yeah, no, exactly, Amo. Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't want to read it simultaneously with Lord of the Mysteries. I kind of wanted to read that first. But man, it is really good. I like it. I'm excited to read the next volume. Now look, I don't know what Volume 2 is called, but it's gonna be called Something City. Because I remember, I don't know if this is a spoiler now, but let me look up the Shadow Slave music. The Shadow Slave music by Griffith Tyler. I think the second track he has is literally called Something City. So let's look at this bad boy. Oh, Dark City. So I feel like the next arc is called Dark City. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is definitely the next arc. I already know it. So I already feel like the next arc, volume 2, is this bad boy right here. Right here. This is our wait, wrong scene. This is it. Volume 2 has to involve the so this is the Dark City? Yeah, volume 2 has to involve the Dark City. Yeah. Bro got enthralled. He's been enthralled. Is that we got him? We got him, guys. He's been enthralled. He's locked in. Next part is fire. All right, I'm excited, bro. So I feel, and that's only Act 1. I feel like Act 2, Volume 2 is gonna be really good. Now, here's the thing. How long is Volume 2? It's 96 to what, like 200, 150? Because I know Volume 3 ends at the 350 mark. Well, yeah, description. What makes you visualize the story and embrace? Description is what makes. All right, so we'll look more into this. We're definitely gonna be reading more. Tomorrow I probably won't read because I'm gonna be watching the Game Awards. So if you guys want to hang out, we'll be watching that together on December 11th. But I'm gonna let you go. We're gonna save the rest for, you know what? I think we can probably do it before or after the Game Awards. We can probably read the author notes because I do have to head out. We'll read the author notes, and I want to check out the Guilty 3 interview, the Shadow Slave creator. So I'll probably do all that. Soon. Yeah, it's all the way to 350. Yeah, man. I'm fucking pumped. Oh, volume 2 is all the way to 350. Oh, okay. Oh, that's hype. Artworks? Oh, is there artwork on Shadow Slave? Yeah, let's look at it. Yeah, there's artwork. Let's take a look. Let me open up Discord. Hold up. Let me open up Discord before we head out then. Yeah, check artwork. Okay. 1 sec. Let's change scenes. Should I have the music playing? No, I don't want to react to this one just yet. I want to react to the song first. So we'll keep this one playing. Give me a sec. Let me find the artwork part. I forgot we split the artwork stuff. Wait. Joking. Oh, this is a fucking tree? Oh, I've seen this one. Okay, hold up. I've seen this one before. I've seen this one. This is the soul tree. Damn. I'm so dumb. I was thinking gold. I kept thinking of Elden Ring when I know I shouldn't be thinking Elden Ring. My dumbass. Yeah, no shit. This makes more sense. Scale of the soul tree compared to Sunny. God damn! What the fuck? It's all big ass. Okay, this tree's a lot bigger than I thought. I didn't think the tree was that big. God damn, man, that's fucking big. Damn, that's all big ass tree. Okay. Damn. This is the Forgotten Shore? Wow. Oh. So this was the maze. This is the Ashen Barrow. This is the city. There's this shit right here. I don't know what the heck this is. That looks important. Oh, this is the tree? Huh, okay. Miles in size. Damn, is that big? More Forgotten Shore? Oh, wow, that's some really nice artwork. So this is the castle they see at the distance. Nephis. This is the person posted in our Shadow Slave by 4K RBA. Oh yeah, hold up. It has the names, right, of the people that made artwork. Damn. Oh, this is Nephis? Oh, wait, I saw that staring into yourself. Wait, I saw this. We get Nephis and like a beautiful dress. Oh, this is her eyes lighting up and the piece on her helmet piece lighting up. Oh shit, it's been mentioned before. People may say to skip some chapters and revisit it later, but I would suggest to read it in chronological order. What? What? People say to skip some chapters and come back? Why? Why? Why would people do that? Absolutely read normally? Yeah. No, I don't plan to do that. Nah, I don't do that. Don't listen. No, there's a really good artwork of Nephis in her Starlight Legion armor. Have you seen it? Probably not. Oh, this was the nest. The nest where Sunny went, and he's holding the egg right here. Damn, man, the manhwa is gonna be really good. Nephis. Damn, I love it. Damn, I'm really like Nephis and Cassia are starting to grow on me as characters. A part of me felt really sad for Cassie at one point when she was like kind of like whoa, spoilers. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that's just an interpretation of her cloak. I don't want to talk about that, but that okay. Oh, this was the beginning. Ah, that's really cool. Oh shit. The trio? Alright, so it is a trio. What the fuck is this? This is cool. She has a crown? Or I guess that's just her helmet piece? She's so tiny right here. Yeah, it's been confusing at first when you start volume 2, but do read the chapters in their order. Bet. Wait, hold up. I think the song is playing. Wait, I don't want to hear this track yet. I don't want to hear it just yet. Yeah, wait, I don't want to hear that song just yet. I don't want to hear it just yet. Yeah, I'm trying to save that song. It's the statue? Oh, it's the headless statue they were at. Okay. Oh, that makes more sense. You can see right here you can see the maze in the background. Okay. That makes more sense. Comic of Sunny finding the egg. I need to get some tasty fruits for her ASAP. He's like struggling climbing the tree. He makes it up. So this is when Nephis first died. And then when I'm sorry, and she never said if she saw the egg or not. Sigh, the rustling leaf sounds like howling in agony. What's up? Can I even think? What's that? The creamy other shims. This is really cool, man. People are fucking talented as fuck. After a long while, Sunny decided that he had climbed the high tree. This is beautiful. I would not be able to draw none of this shit, man. I would be struggling. The trio? This is some good stuff. So Nephis is taller than Sunny. Oh, so Sunny is a short king. Is that what it is? Oh my god, we literally said the same thing at the same time, Nightshade. So he's a short king. But she's our short queen. Okay. These are AI, but still good enough. Let's look at it. Whoa. Okay. Oh, is this the metalled one? 80 degrees. I've seen this name brought up before. I did try looking up artwork the other day. At least for the thumbnails. And I remember seeing this pop up on one of the artworks. 80 degrees. Yeah. This is Sunny swimming. I mean, only these two. Sunny swimming. His face. He's like, oh, she gonna fucking... Nephis sitting on the branch of the soul tree. Damn, she looks fucking beautiful here. Oh, is that the chunk of her armor that got ripped out? Damn. And some artworks... Wow, what was that one on the bottom? In some artworks, Sunny just looks older, and some he still looks like a child. I don't get it. Oh, this one's beautiful. Damn. This one's good. That's a good one. Nephis. What the fuck, man? That's crazy. Look at all the cracks on her face. Literally like a fucking marionette. Bruh. Cassie's 5'4"? Really? Oh, I thought they were taller. That's some good ass artwork, man. Alright. I'm gonna let you guys go. Tomorrow we'll be watching the Game Awards. What's tomorrow? What's today? What day is it? Today's Wednesday? I don't know if I'm gonna stream Friday. So we'll see. Yeah, there's no official artwork, so it's up to interpretation on how each character looks. Okay. Then I feel like we'll have to wait until the... Cassie's actually 5'2". I feel like we'll probably have to wait until at least the webcomic. Or maybe the physical book has artwork of the characters in it. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. That being said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Peace. Have an amazing day. Don't worry, we'll be back for more Shadow Slave Volume 2 in this dark city. I'm hyped. I'm excited. Now, here's the thing. The one zone I fucking hated in Elden Ring was the Dark City equivalent, if you guys remember. It's where you can get your Shadow Mimic. If you're really, really good, right? You can get your Clone Mimic. But, man, it was a fun stream. Hey, man. All right, well, if you guys, I'd appreciate if you guys stick around for the VOD. Give it a like, give it a comment, give it... Outros here, hold up. For people watching the live stream, for people watching the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on, I said comment twice. You know what I meant. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell icons and all that YouTube jibber jabber, whatever people say at the end of their outros to help the algorithm. All right, peace, and have an amazing day. Later, guys. Wait. Later, guys. All right, we did our outro. Yeah, it was fun today. Hell yeah, man. I'll see you guys soon, though. Sonny, remember, great power comes great responsibility, brother. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have an amazing day. I'm gonna go hang out with Mrs. for a little bit. I'm gonna see you guys all very, very soon. Yeah, tomorrow I'll kind of just be hanging out, watching the Game Awards. I'm not sure how long it's gonna run for. Usually, it's probably gonna be like 3 hours. So if we have time before or after, we'll do the offer notes for sure. But later, guys. Love you all.